Hello, everyone. Welcome. How are you today? It's good to be with you. I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about unwinding your limiting beliefs about money. So something that has been showing up repeatedly in my client sessions lately has been this question around what to charge. How can I be the one that charges that much for my services? Who am I? And also just simply fears around resources, having enough, being enough. And so I wanted to take a little bit of time and talk about how to potentially unwind some of those limiting beliefs around money to clear the path for you and enable you to have a healthier, more vibrant relationship with the question of money in your life. So healing the area of money in our lives when it's a challenge for us, it can feel like a daunting task. And one of the things that I notice most often is that when people talk about money, they speed up, they kind of want to just skip past the deeper feeling component that comes up around money and just let me get there, just tell me what to charge, tell me what to do. And there's sort of this anxious energy that just wants to skip over the the deeper feeling content that comes up around money. And over the years, what I've noticed is that what's actually needed to heal our relationship with money is to really build a relationship with the consciousness of money, to actually come into relationship with the consciousness of money. And so I wanted to create a recording of a somatic approach that you can potentially use on your own and walk yourselves through the steps of identifying what is in the way or what is affecting your relationship with money, and kind of noticing the beliefs around money and unwinding them and seeing them a little bit more clearly and hopefully with greater compassion. Because often what I find when women in particular speak about money, there's definitely a sadness that they don't feel empowered to the area of money in their life. There is a shame that there's something wrong with them because they haven't achieved a certain level of success with money in their life. And also there is this place that is judging really harshly around the topic of money in their life. So the critic is quite loud and aggressive. And so what we want to do is we want to get underneath the defense and notice what belief systems, what conditioning, what feelings, what experiences have informed your relationship with money, and come to a place where we can see that maybe the fears around money are there for a reason, and that they're not just to be abolished in one go, but to have a better understanding of what the fears actually are and how we can build an environment of support to help you move from high levels of anxiety and induced fear around money to practical steps that enable you to stand in the value of your work and also be able to talk with people about your work from a place of confidence and courage and clarity, and that the fear around money might still bubble up, but it's more manageable and also more supported, that there's not such a great deal of activation around it for you. And part of deactivating the money conversation is understanding really what your own limiting beliefs are about money. So the first step is to recognize that you are in a reaction to the stimulus, which today we're going to be talking about money as a stimulus. So what I mean by that is any area of your life where money is concerned, maybe even more specifically when it's in relationship to potential clients, right? People's stuff is going to come up. There, everyone's stuff comes up around money. It's not a surprise. And so we just want to recognize the stimulus of money. So when you think about money, when you feel into the consciousness of money, or you're about to have a conversation about money with someone, most likely a potential client, what is happening for you? So recognizing that you're in a reaction to money. So let's just say, for example, you're about to get on a call and you're going to talk to a potential client about enrolling them into your next class or offer or program. And the fear of money is coming up, right? Because you're going to have to talk about the pricing and commitment and timing and all of that. So just recognizing that you're in a reaction to the stimulus of having to talk about money. Or you can also notice when you get a bill, or when your bank account is fluctuating. You can just pick any situation where you're having a reaction to money, and identify the kind of reaction you're having. So if you just think about the stimulus and you notice, right? The first step is noticing that you're in a reaction, noticing that something's getting activated in you, and identifying the kind of reaction you're having. So what's coming up for you in your body? What's going on in your mind? So what is the sensation in the body, the feelings in the body, maybe the thoughts in the mind? And just take a moment to notice the type of reaction you're having. And maybe even write them down if this is helpful. You can really take the time to unpack the reaction that you're having to this particular situation. And then following that, as we identify the reaction, so first step is the awareness that you're in a reaction. The second step is identifying the reaction and what's happening in you. Body, mind, heart, spirit, soul. So what is happening in you? And once we start to tap into what's happening for you on all the levels of your experience, we just want to create some space for it to be here and for it to be okay, that having a reaction is part of being alive, and to not judge or demonize the experience. So creating space, a non-judgmental space where you can start to hone in on where the sensation of the reaction is living in your body. So the next step is creating the space to observe where the sensations are rising. So Do you feel like you might feel some fluttering or shaking somewhere in your body or energy field? You may feel like a little bit, your mind kind of is directed to a particular area in the body. So just noticing, where is the sensation of this reaction living in my body? And if it's not in the body, notice where it is. Where is it living? Where are the sensations taking your attention? And what do you notice about the sensations? What are the qualities that these sensations have? And follow the sensations in the body. And what feelings, thoughts, or beliefs start to arise for you as you follow the sensation in the body? And is there a statement of some kind that is popping up? Some form of words or a belief statement that is arising here. And notice the quality of that statement. How does it feel to you? And notice that that statement has a certain kind of consciousness. So what we can do here at this juncture is personify the consciousness or zero in on the felt sense of the consciousness of that statement or that point that you're locating. And notice the consciousness associated with this activation in you. How is it living in your system? So notice the consciousness associated with this area of activation in your body and or your energy field. And just notice what's here for you as you track this sensation. And notice if there's any fear that starts to bubble up here. Voice of fear. And if you can, allow the voice of fear to express. What does the voice of fear have to say? And how is this voice of fear protecting you, trying to keep you safe? And just listen, just see if you can zero in and listen for that voice. What does the voice of fear have to say? And how is it trying to keep you safe? What is it keeping you safe from? And just allowing it all to flow and inform you. Just observing as you ask the question, what arises in your experience, your direct experience. And you may like to also ask the fear, what do you need from me and right, oftentimes the fear just wants to be acknowledged. So can you acknowledge the fear and let the fear know that you're hearing it? And what is needed here to help feel better? What is needed here to feel better? What would be the healing response for this place in you? What kind of support does this voice of fear or consciousness of fear need? What kind of care? And when you notice what it's asking for, can you give that to yourself? Can you give yourself the healing response? And sometimes it's as simple as just an acknowledgement or a listening or holding the hand of the fear. Sometimes, often, the voice of fear is a younger part of us that felt alone in our fear. So, can we offer a hand, an inner hand holding, just to let that part of ourselves know we're here, we're listening, and we're present to what's going on at a deeper level. And once we've tended to that inner part of us, we want to then think about how the situation may feel a little different with money. Is there a healing response that we want to have for ourselves in regards to money? Is there a response from money that can help us heal the relationship? So we did the inner healing response for ourselves, but is there a response for the situation, a healing response for the situation at hand? What is the wish that you have for yourself and for the others involved? And what is a healed relationship with money feel like or look like to you? What's needed on the inside for you to feel better about coming into relationship with money? What's needed on the inside for you to feel better, more confident, more grounded when you come into the next contact or conversation you might have about money? So, what's the healing response for yourself as you take a step towards what it is you want and need? And maybe you might be noticing there's just a deeper level of support or work that's needed to get to that confident place. But just for right now, how do you feel in your body? What did you learn about the deeper level of feeling here? What insights did you receive from this exercise? What shifts do you notice inwardly? And how might these shifts support you outwardly in your life? How does the inner shift inform the outer? And what do you need to keep that consistent and continuous? What support, what kind of acknowledgement and support do you need to keep that healing in motion? And are there any areas still where you feel you might be judging yourself harshly about this? I'm not there yet. I'm not where I want to be. And just recognizing any edges of criticism and just taking a moment to place your hand on your heart and acknowledging yourself for this time and also for taking the time to inquire a little deeper about what's happening underneath the surface. And I'd like to end with a prayer I learned from my teacher, Jonathan Bissoni, who has always encouraged this prayer of forgiveness for the self. I forgive myself for judging myself for. 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 And just allowing the prayer of self-forgiveness to work its way through you to create a little more ease, more clarity and groundedness in yourself. And closing with just a simple acknowledgement of yourself for taking this time to do this work, to listen in on a deeper level, to give yourself the space to get curious about what's coming up for you for healing. And just anything else that you'd like to acknowledge, write down, appreciate about yourself at this time in the work that you're doing on your healing path. So I hope that this process was helpful to you. And if you have any questions about it or would like to follow up with your experience and share in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you to see if this was helpful, what you noticed, what you learned, and so that we can continue the conversation. And if you're looking to go deeper into your own processing around money, work, and purpose, I'm opening up my schedule for free vision calls where we can take this work a little deeper and see where you are on your personal healing journey with this work. And there's no obligation to take any further steps. The vision calls are offered from the seat of my heart to support the level of transformation you're seeking to achieve at this time. So I hope that you will reach out, and I'll include that link below if you're interested in connecting. And again, looking forward to hearing if this settled in you and if this was helpful, and if there are any follow-up questions that you might have so we can continue the conversation. So wishing you all very, very well through this next week and the energy of this super full moon that's coming up on Tuesday. And I will look forward to connecting with you soon. Be well and bye for now.